In terms of solutions, let me give you these principles. Principle number one, don't panic, show empathy. There are three ways to increase revenue in the church. Now I'm talking to people that aren't willing to resort to gimmicks. There are three basic ways. If you have a normal church and you have 50 people, these are the three ways to increase your giving. Number one, the people who give will give more. Now I put a letter in the back that's an example of the letter I send to the regular and generous givers. There are always a dozen people in a church, maybe 20, 25. I thank them for being givers. Then make sure your regular givers and your generous givers know where you're headed for the next 6 months. We started this over a year ago, and we shared with our top givers and our regular givers the four aspects of our ministry that we were going to focus on for the next 3 years: technology, cultural diversity, physical needs of the church, and leadership transition. Those were the four areas of ministry that we were making priorities, because while people give to God, it never hurts for people to know where their money's going, specifically to the parking lot, to new pews. And don't wait for a special capital campaign. The people who give are the first candidates to give more. Actually, I learned this from politicians. When politicians are raising money, the first people they go to are the people that gave last time. And the people who gave last time are the ones who are more likely than not to give next time. And so in church, it's the same way. The people who love the church, support the church, and are most generous with the church, they are the people who are more likely than not to increase the church's revenue. That's number one. Current givers give more. We have large percentages of wonderful people who come to church every Sunday and don't give anything. And if they do, they may give $1. I don't know about your church, but in our tradition, we used to walk around the church and people would crumple up their little dollar and be so tight, you'd almost need a wrench to unfold the dollar to put it in the bank. But there are people who could give more, but don't give more for any number of reasons. I'm not talking about people who can't give. You know, we're always criticized as pastors and churches by haters who think that all we care about is money and we want people to give to the church before they pay their bills. That's not us. There are very few pastors who are asking people to give money to the church instead of paying their bills. Very few. But there are people who spend $20 a week at Starbucks. There are people that spend $50 a month at the car wash. And what we have learned at dfree, and what I've learned in my travels, is that if we can ask people who attend church regularly, they sing in the choir, they serve on the ushers ministry, they're active. If we can ask them to identify one thing that they spend money on that they really don't need and shift the purchase of that one thing and turn it into a gift for the church, that's huge. Now, again, we have to make sure we're serving their needs. We have to make sure during this COVID-19 crisis, they know how to fill out unemployment papers. We have to make sure that we pray with them. We have to make sure we provide Bible study and Sunday school online. We have to make sure that they own their small businesses, that they access the information that we're going to give you about small business loans. We have to make sure we're meeting their needs. But the average Christian, when they know the church is working hard to meet their needs, is willing to give up a cup of Starbucks once a week to add $5 to their offering. If you see 20 people a week, and those 20 people increase their giving by $5, that's $100 a week. You've raised $5,000 just from one cup of Starbucks. And if we're that specific, and if that level of specificity is accompanied by meeting people's needs, you will find that you can, quote unquote, raise money, your offerings, your income can increase one Starbucks cup at a time. So there are ways to get non-givers to give something. So that's the second way. The first way to increase church revenue is to get givers to give more. Second way is to give non-givers to give. And the third way is to get new givers. We need new people. We have to attract. If I'm seeing 50 people a week, and I can get 10 new people to attend and or to give to the church, and those 10 people give an average of $10 a week, that's another $5,000. So I've gotten $5,000 from my Starbucks people. Now I have $5,000 from my 10 new people. I now have increased my church's budget by $10,000 a year because I've got new people. If I'm preaching to 200 people, the numbers are the same. You get 200 people to bring your Starbucks offering, that's $1,000. And if you get 20 new people to add to those 200 people to give to, that's $200. You get the point. The point is, if we can teach people from the bottom up, I believe in tithing, but it's very rare that a new Christian or a new member is going to start by giving 10% or more of their income. It's very rare. It's not impossible, and we should teach it. But our challenge is that we live in a consumption society, and unfortunately, people are spending money before they earn it. They're paying high interest on credit cards. They're living above their means. That's the American way. That's Western culture. It happens in Ghana, it happens in South Africa, it happens in Jamaica, and it happens in Chicago, which means that we are stuck financially in the church until we can motivate and educate people about how they're using their money. That's what my staff does every single day. We have online courses, we have books, because until people change their relationship with money, churches are going to suffer, especially at a time of high unemployment, at a time when the stock market is going down, at a time when retirement now seems to be out of reach. So the three ways to increase church income: one, you get givers to give more; two, we get non-givers to give; and three, we get new givers.